What's up, everyone? Listen, I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's just say 3 months, I've been vigorously doing a lot of self-education. I mean, I think no matter how long one would be involved in my particular field, where it's essential to know, I feel, every aspect of nutrition, sports nutrition, a wide variety of things. It's not just walking around with a clipboard and telling people you're not supposed to just be a rep counter, if you would. I mean, you really have to know all different aspects to change someone. So, having said that, this past off season, I on purpose tried to put on as much weight as I could without getting fat. So I got up to my heaviest weight, a weight that I haven't been in probably over 12, 13 years. And I still maintained my abs. I still was around, 10, I'd say 10%, to be honest. But it was heavy for me. I wasn't used to that. So it took a little bit of strain on my body. And having said that, it affected my health. So to correct that, I've been doing a lot more, because I never stopped trying to learn. I try to do a lot more self-education on correcting some things, and I've really been extremely intrigued by the importance of gut health. Now, I know the majority of people out there, they just take their digestive systems for granted. With, of course, the exception of people with diagnosed issues like irritable, bowel and colon issues and so on. I know most people don't realize that everything that happens in your body starts in your stomach. It's literally considered now your first brain. It's literally has more messaging, more impact on your entire body as far as health, hormones, anything. It all starts in your stomach. And again, I've been following a couple of extremely intelligent people who have then referred me to other extremely intelligent people, and it's amazing that it's no wonder really why everyone nowadays is sick. The obesity rate it's really disturbing. The amount of people with all sorts of mental issues, with ADHD and Asperger's and autism and others, sadly, like my mother, paranoid schizophrenia, manic bipolar, all your brain issues are all from your stomach. It's all about inflammation and irritation that happens that prevents your immune system from doing its job. So I'm going to put it to you, I've always been known to use analogies to explain things to people, and I'm going to just go ahead using my jarhead Marine Corps, me way. I'm going to try to explain to you in the best way possible, and through some easy way to understand, if you will. Sorry if I'm bumbling this morning. It's been a long week. So imagine your stomach. Imagine a battlefield being your stomach. Your stomach is the virtual battlefield. And I know a lot of you don't know, but I know a bunch of my followers are former soldiers, so they can understand this. Is that in that battlefield, we are there to protect. We are there to protect either a front line or a grid, an area, or so on. So we're in this situation where a regiment of soldiers. That's it, several battalions combined, and then some. Those would be the bacteria in your stomach, the good bacteria, the good soldiers. We are there to protect the stomach lining. Now, I want you to imagine a chain-linked fence surrounding, we'll just use a proverbial or hypothetical area, a round area in question, and that would be a chain-link fence. Now, behind the chain-link fence is your immune system. It is a different line of defense. It's like, another analogy, it's like the fence protecting the immune system is like a firewall on your computer with many levels, if you would. But this chain link fence is what's holding the enemy from going in and attacking the immune system. All right? The immune system doesn't like to be attacked. It will fight back. So this regiment of soldiers is down in there conducting operations. You got artillery, you got grunts, you got all sorts of areas, fire direction control. You have all this in there. This is all your bacteria, and it's there to protect that fence. Things that you eat and drink and consume go down into that battlefield, and think of it as a different. Everything that's going down there is irritating and attacking the soldiers. It's causing inflammation, if you will, and it's trying to get through that fence because it wants to get at that immune system, right? So every time you consume dairy products or simple sugars or even worse, alcohol, it's going down there and killing some soldiers. Now, what happens is when you kill some soldiers, you have less self-defense, and then other invaders now come in, bad bacteria, and try to get through that fence. They try to squeeze through, they try to break the chain links and get through and get into that, get at that immune system. Now, way down on another grid is a recon unit, if you will, and you're in small intestine. And even further down is like a battalion, or more or less headquarters, if you will, in your colon. Those are bacteria too, but they're all different types of bacteria. You got fighter bacteria in the stomach, you got force recon going on in the intestines, and you got headquarters, HQ, down in the colon. Now, when you start losing more and more soldiers in that battlefield, force recon has to come and replenish out of the intestinal tract, small intestinal tract, to take over, to make up for the lost soldiers. And when that happens, you have less defense going on in your intestinal tract. Foods go down in there and they're unprotected and undigested, and they cause irritation in the intestinal tract. So now what happens? HQ says, "Holy shit, we're being invaded." So it ends up coming out of the colon and trying to fight in the intestinal tract, because we can't let anything attack. What happens? Now the colon is left unprotected, and it starts to get affected too. It gets inflamed. So now all these things you're consuming are attacking and killing your soldiers on the battlefield, and all its people, soldiers coming from other areas to help out. Now, bad soldiers from particular foods that you eat, primarily lectins that are in foods that are like poisons that are in the vegetables, believe it or not, and the grains and all that stuff, and dairy products, awful. Start squeezing and breaking through that chain link fence where they were trying to protect. And the immune system sees them coming, and it's like, what the F? And it starts fighting and causing all sorts of disruptions with your immune system, weakening your immune system. So now you have all kinds of chaos going on in the stomach. Anything coming down is becoming more and more inflamed and not digested and causing all sorts of issues. The immune system is compromised. Now, all sorts of things going on in your bloodstream are happening. Your things start going up, like your blood sugar level starts to rise because you're in a state of insulin resistance from the stress. High levels of cortisol raise blood glucose because you have to have the constant blood glucose for energy purposes and recovery purposes starts to rise. It can't go into the muscle cells because now you're in insulin resistance from the high levels of glucose and insulin. So everything happens in the stomach. But every single time you go on an antibiotic, that is like a bad soldier, and it goes down there and it kills lots of good soldiers. And it's now you have less self-defense, more irritation and inflammation. All that causes other things like non-production of hormones. You have all sorts of plaque. You have triglycerides breakdown, causing all sorts of plaque buildup in your arteries, and then even in your brain, which is one of the main reasons of Alzheimer's is inflammation in the brain of certain plaques. It gets ugly. Your battlefield gets compromised. So, nowadays you go to the doctor for a headache, they give you antibiotics. Nowadays you go to the doctor, they give you antibiotics because your freaking nose hurts. Whatever. It's ridiculous. Foods cause the majority of the problem, not necessarily the meds. Lots of meds cause tons of problems, but believe it or not, it's what you eat or drink that goes in that stomach and starts killing your military. So you're the one that has the control to fix this battlefield and strengthen your battlefield down there and kill all the bad soldiers and strengthen your chain link fenced line of defense, keeping your intestinal tract strong and your colon. If all that is working, everything runs well, you have less elevated blood glucose, you have less plaque buildup, you have less cholesterol problems, you have less hormonal problems, you have less manic depression, you have less craziness. And it all starts with you and your choices and what you put in your mouth. Stay away from dairy completely. I don't care, Greek yogurt, non-fat, it doesn't matter. It's dairy. Stay away from cheese. Stay away from simple sugars completely. Stay away from it. It's gonna kill you in the long run. You may not notice it now in your 20s and 30s, but you will notice it in your 50s, 60s, and if you make it to your 70s. So you're not going to live forever. And believe me, you may live longer, but you will suffer longer too. So it's all up to you. So no dairy, no sugar. I don't care. Cut out the alcohol completely. Cut it out. There's no use for alcohol in your body. It's literally liquid poison. Eat more fiber. Keep lean sources of protein in there, it would be a good idea, honestly, to incorporate the non-hormonal chicken, hormone-free, grass-fed beef. They feed those animals the crap that's causing your issue in your stomach otherwise. So eat tons of fiber, good quality protein, incorporate lots and lots of good essential fats in your diet. It's anti-inflammatory. It's good for you. It's for a million reasons. All right, gotta go. This was the longest video I've done in a long time. I'm going to have to break it up into 2 parts. Gotta go. Have an awesome weekend. Eat clean, work out hard, and take no shit. You're not going to live forever. All right? You get what you give. Have a good weekend.